I wanted to begin the discussion of gender roles and support systems' work in breaking them with the book The Feminine Mystique by Betty Friedan. Written in 1963, Friedan explores the domestic roles that women were so inclined and assumed to take up. She interviewed many stay-at-home mothers, and although many of these women had striven to be mothers and good housewives, they, in many cases, soon felt that they were capable of much, much more. This book was one of the earliest pieces of second-wave feminist literature, and it shed light upon the patriarchal system that is still evident today. Now, what does this patriarchal system consist of? The main points I will focus on are those of male-centered and male-dominant ideals. Men, in many cases, were seen and expected to be the primary supporters of their families, and women simply maintained a domestic role. These patterns were very prevalent when Friedan wrote her book, but I want to explore how these values are still prevalent today in the media and what we and our children consume. Barbie has created toys for girls since 1959 and has received backlash for creating unrealistic ideals for a woman's physique, but that is a different story. Barbie has released some books aimed to empower young girls, and one of which involved Barbie learning how to program and work with a computer. From the outside, this seems like a great step in the right direction, but I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. In the story, Barbie is using her computer to design a video game, but she makes a mistake and causes her computer to get a virus. Instead of working to resolve the issue on her own, as a point of empowerment, Barbie simply met with a computer guy who resolved the issue in no time. This is the exact message that can't be spread into the minds of our youth, and especially young girls. This book only worked to propagate the conditioning of girls to avoid things that are quote-unquote too technical and a field that is quote-unquote meant for men. Other toys and media aimed towards girls spread a message of domesticity, such as the Lego Friends line. Lego toys oriented for boys involve the construction of phenomenal things like spaceships, planes, and even entire cities. But when Lego began marketing towards girls with their Friends line, which follows the relaxed lifestyle of 5 girlfriends, the sets included locations such as bakeries, hair salons, and backyard pool parties, none of which ever occurring in the male Lego realm. The sum of these messages spread onto children would eventually equal the subconscious gender norm that can affect a girl's life path regardless of her interests. A recent ad funded by Verizon followed the life of a girl as she grew up. Starting with scenes from her young age, her parents insisted she keep her dress clean while she explored, and called her their pretty girl. As the girl grew, we are shown a scene with a large science project in her room that her parents think has gotten out of hand, and a scene where she must defer the use of a screwdriver to her brother simply for safety. It ends with the statistics shown on the screen, that 66% of 4th grade girls say they enjoyed science and math, but only 18% of college engineering majors were women. I interviewed 2 students from the University of Washington to hear their thoughts on the video and how support systems have helped them.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm majoring in bioengineering and pre-med. I'm a freshman here at UW.
Hi, my name is Alexis. I'm a freshman at UW, and I'm planning to major in bioengineering on the pre-health track.
You know, that video kind of made me sad because I feel like growing up, I had like a lot more opportunities because my dad was a teacher and I was the oldest of 2 daughters, and so he'd always be like, okay, Tay, we're gonna go play in the mud and stuff like that, and he'd always bring home Legos and Connects from his classroom, and we'd build just random stuff with it.
The video was definitely interesting because those are phrases that I've definitely heard before. They might not necessarily have resonated with me as much because you can kind of shake it off and keep going.
When my grandma passed away from cancer, I told them that I really wanted to go into the medical field or something like that. And they looked at me and they're like, okay, what are you gonna do? We'll like support you. And
I was still supportive. My family always encouraged me. My parents were both engineers, and really liked that idea, and my friends always encouraged it as well.
At UW, they have like a lot of really good resources for women, which like really shrinks down the group, and it like makes you like feel a lot more confident going into engineering and science degrees. Like there's the Women in Science Engineering group and like Society of Women Engineers.
I always felt like I had the same opportunities as males, but I felt like it was less encouraged. When I was captain of the Science Olympiad, and it was really male dominated, so it felt like it wasn't really my place. And as captain, like the men on the team didn't necessarily always want to hear from me, so I would like have the other captain who was like a guy, like he would talk to them because they didn't really look up to me as much as the other people in the group.
Hi, I'm Farzad, and I'm a pre-informatics major. I chose this topic because I thought back to a time in preschool where I was passing out stickers to my classmates, and they all had a color. It was a bunch of smiley faces, and my favorite color was red, and this girl in my class asked me for a red smiley face sticker, and I didn't think she could like red. You know, all the characters I followed in TV shows and the toys I played with, they were all like the colors that, you know, boys' toys were made to be. And so I thought red was just associated with boys and girls couldn't like it. So I said, no, you can't have a red sticker. I thought she should like pink or light blue or something like that. And, you know, she told on me, and the teacher told me to give her red. But that was just an interesting thought I had when I was thinking about what video to pick. And I was thinking about how kids are affected by the media and you know what they're consuming, and how that affects their perception of what girls should be and what guys should be. After looking further into what children are consuming today and speaking to those girls regarding their path into engineering, I came to a realization similar to a topic discussed in Abate's book, Recoding Gender. Support systems are vital for women to break gender roles and to push them into tech. That, along with bias awareness, can help slowly decay the deep roots of patriarchy.